Number 9, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Number 10, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success. Krishna Prema. So once again, welcome to today's call and thank you very much for joining us. Moving on to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. First of all, happy Janmashtami, everybody, all the devotees here on the call. Now I will let all the devotees on the call to please go ahead with your introductions now.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Pratidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Priti Mataji,
Hare
Dandavat Pranam.
Krishna and happy Janmashtami to everyone.
Hare Krishna, Priti Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvindax from Chicago. A happy Janmashtami to everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Arvind Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharajas, and all glories to the assembled devotees. This is Tiffany in Pennsylvania, and happy Janmashtami. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Tiffany Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajas. My humble obeisance to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumar Devidasi from Raleigh. Happy Janmashtami to everyone.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, and to all the assembled devotees here. Happy Janmashtami. This is Megha from Naperville. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Megha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Pinta Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas. Happy Janmashtami to everyone. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all Guru Maharajas, all glories to the assembled devotees. This is Shiromani Nandarani Devidasi from Krishna Katha. Happy Janmashtami to everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shiromani Nandarani Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. I offer my obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and happy Janmashtami to all the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Ayan Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Do we have any more introductions before we start the class?
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Mataji, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Dandavat Pranam to all and happy Janmashtami to everyone on the call. Hare Krishna. This is Manisha from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Manisha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Valli from Naperville, Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Valli Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Krishna.
Happy Janmashtami, Mataji. Happy Janmashtami to everyone. Hare Krishna.
To you as well, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shyamananda Prabhu from Charlotte. Happy Janmashtami to everyone.
Hare Krishna Shamagari Mataji, Danvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Lakshmi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the assembled devotees. Very happy Janmashtami to you and to all the assembled devotees on the call and to the devotees who are watching on the YouTube also. This is Anita from Sharjah. You look so bright, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Lakshmi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karna Devi Dasi from Lincoln. Wish you all a very happy Janmashtami.
Hare Krishna Indulekha Mataji, Danvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Lakshmi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada, this is Preeti Lasmi Devi Dasi from Atlanta.
Hare Krishna Preeti Mataji, Danvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Shall we start, Mataji?
Is Prabhuji here on the call, Mataji?
Let's see him.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I do see Prabhuji here.
Okay.
Hare
Just
Krishna.
a moment. I need to do some adjustment for my video.
I'm sorry, Prabhuji, do you have trouble with your video?
No, just a moment. I'm just adjusting my background here.
Start introduction.
All right. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. We are extremely fortunate to have His Grace Shyamananda Prabhuji here with us today. And Prabhuji would be enlightening us by discussing the appearance of Lord Krishna on this auspicious occasion of Janmashtami. But before we dive into this next shrine class, I will request Raj Prabhuji to share a brief introduction about His Grace Shyamananda Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Raj Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam.
Hare
Prabhupada, over to you.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dhanva Pranam to you and all the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Dhanva Pranam Shyamananda Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Happy Janmashtami to all the devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. This is a very brief introduction for Prabhuji. His Grace Shyamananda Prabhuji is editor of the Indian edition of Back to Godhead magazine. Also, Prabhuji is translator for the BBT, having worked on the Marathi language Srimad Bhagavatam project. Prabhuji is also a member of the management and leadership team of ISKCON Chapati. That's a very brief introduction from Prabhuji, but Prabhuji has so many services to the mission. So over to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dhanva Pranam.
Thank you, Raj Prabhuji, for reading that brief introduction about His Grace Shyamananda Prabhuji. So Hare Krishna Shyamananda Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for your valuable time and association this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Without further ado, I would like to request you to please take over from here. Hare Krishna, happy Janmashtami.
Hare Krishna. So we'll have a brief Mangalacharan. Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajata Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, thank you all for allowing me to serve your Sangha. I know I'm a very poor substitute for Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. He's a good friend of mine, but I cannot match his erudition and his scholarship and the depth with which he understands Shastra and the ease with which he can explain. So anyway, I just took this as an opportunity to speak Krishna Katha, and that is my good fortune. So I have chosen for today's discussion mainly 3 to 30, Canto 3, Chapter 2, Text 30. Prayuktan Bhojarajena Maina Kamarupina Lilaya Vinudattam Stan Balak Kridanakaniva. Srila Prabhupada's translation and purport. The great wizards who were able to assume any form were engaged by the king of Bhoja, Kamsa, to kill Krishna. But in the course of his pastime, the Lord killed them as easily as a child breaks dolls. Purport. The atheist Kamsa wanted to kill Krishna just after his birth. He failed to do so, but later on he got information that Krishna was living in Vrindavan at the house of Nanda Maharaj. He therefore engaged many wizards who could perform wonderful acts and assume any form they liked. All of them appeared before the child Lord in various forms like Agha, Baka, Putana, Shakata, Trinavarta, Dhenuka, and Gardaba. And they tried to kill the Lord at every opportunity. But one after another, all of them were killed by the Lord as if he were only playing with dolls. Children play with toy lions, elephants, boards, and many similar dolls, which are broken by the children in the course of their playing with them. Before the Almighty Lord, any powerful living being is just like a toy lion in the hands of a playing child. No one can excel God in any capacity, and therefore, no one can be equal to or greater than Him, nor can anyone attain the stage of equality with God by any kind of endeavor. Jnana, Yoga, and Bhakti are three recognized processes of spiritual realization. The perfection of such processes can lead one to the desired goal of life in spiritual value. But that does not mean that one can attain a perfection equal to the Lord's by such endeavors. The Lord is a Lord at every stage. When he was playing just like a child on the lap of his mother Yashoda, or just like a coward boy with his transcendental friends, he continued to remain God without the slightest diminution of his six opulences. Thus, he is always unrivaled. Now, somebody might question that here we are discussing Krishna's appearance, Krishna's birth. Why should we discuss people trying to kill Krishna? Why is that? There is a deep reason behind it. Srila Prabhupada had sent devotees to many places in India, and especially Giriraj Swami went to Chennai for some time, was very influential in making one High Court judge understand some of the aspects of Krishna Bhakti. So he came back with a very interesting query. He said, Prabhupada, or he or Tamal Krishna Maharaj. I might be mixing up the names here, but they were very close to each other, very close to Prabhupada in building the ISKCON Juhu, Radha Rasbihari temple. So they asked Prabhupada, why are you giving in your Sanskrit word for word meanings Krishna, when sometimes the original Sanskrit word reads Brahmani, Paramatmane, Ishvara? Why is that? And Prabhupada was very quick to understand the deep impression behind this thing, and he said, very forcefully, he said, for centuries they tried to suppress Krishna. They tried to make Krishna disappear. And therefore, in our society, we will not only talk about Krishna when Krishna is there, we will also show Krishna when he is not present superficially. Even today, we have people saying, why you make Krishna, Krishna, Krishna so much? Aren't there other Vedic Upanishads, Puranas? So we ask them, do you respect the Bhagavad Gita? Oh, really? We respect the Bhagavad Gita like anything. Vedascha sarvair ahameva vedyaha. Ask any elementary student of BA or even lesser than that. What is the meaning of this? Well, it means by all the Vedas, I am to be known. So, is this committing a mistake? That when you read Krishna throughout? So that's our challenge. In fact, in some other places, we have Prabhupada saying that the demoniac people always try to kill Krishna. Prabhupada says in one of his books that Krishna descends to please his devotees and destroy the demons. From the very beginning of Krishna's birth, demons were present. Kamsa advised his constables, as soon as Krishna is born, tell me, I shall immediately kill him. And what was the inner thing behind this? He was always thinking of Krishna, but negatively. Similarly, we find, now Prabhupada is cautioning you and me here very carefully. Please listen very carefully. Similarly, we find so many so-called religionists whose only purpose is to kill Krishna. Somehow or other, they try to take Krishna out of Bhagavad Gita. They will comment on the Gita, but in their commentary, they will never be mentioning any mention of Krishna. They will never say that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and that he should be worshipped. This means that they are asuras, demons, although they may present themselves as big scholars. Somehow or other, they try to evade Krishna Bhakti, and their entire propaganda is aimed towards this. So this is a warning for you and me. Janmashtami is the day on which Krishna appears. So today when Krishna appears, you should be ready to face this kind of onslaught. Prabhupada once told his disciples that none of you invited me to America. Did you any of you tell me, write a letter to me that please come and tell us about Krishna? No. So my Guru Maharaj pushed me. I am pushing you, and you should push others. Now let us understand what this means. In Krishna Balram temple, our beloved Krishna Balram temple in Vrindavan Dham, one of the temple commanders later became Prabhupada's intimate personal servant, an assistant for more than 18 months straight. And 1 month later, that is Harishori Prabhu, and he mercifully has given us his memories in the form of a series of books called the Transcendental Diaries. 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 6 volumes are out. He once asked Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, this is India. And I see most of the people here are Indians. So we can safely criticize ourselves, isn't it? If we flatter ourselves, we are our enemies. But if we use self-criticism for growing, for our benefit, that is good. He said Indians are so undisciplined. I cannot make them go in a line, go in a queue. Now, of course, most of you Indians staying in the West, you are very disciplined, isn't it? Jaisa des, vaisa base, they say. Okay, a very funny thing. One of my friends came from Doha, Qatar, and it was an Air India flight, and they all landed here in Delhi, in Mumbai. So he saw that at the Doha airport, there was a serpentine queue. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. You have to go like this, like this, like this, like this, 6-7 times. And although there were not many people, he said all the Indian passengers, they went very disciplined way through the whole serpentine queue. Then they landed in Mumbai, and it was the late, early morning flight arrival, say 1:30 p.m. something. And there was no other flight. And there were 3 or 4 immigration clerks waiting to stamp their passport. What happened? All the Indians, they just pushed that red ribbon, and below that, they just rushed to the gate. I think my suspicion is there is something in Indian water, isn't it? Or maybe Indian air, something like that. So anyway, so much for self-criticism for our benefit. So Prabhupada looked at him and said, yes, we need to be disciplined. We need to give everybody an orderly darshan. So he said, wait, I need to push people then. And sometimes they get offended. Hey, you Videshi, don't touch me. I am born in India. I am a Krishna Bhakta since my birth, whatever. So then Prabhupada said, push, but smile. You're not doing it out of spite, out of hatred, out of resentment, but push. Once Prabhupada was asked that, how do we preach? So Prabhupada said, with the courage of an English soldier. Perhaps some of you might have heard this. And the heart of a Bengali mother. So the courage Prabhupada showed when he went alone on that voyage, on the Jaladuta. And he struggled. Our Bhakti Rasamrit Swami was talking to one devotee. And generally we ask devotees each other, how are you doing? How's your life? How's your work life? How's family life? So the answer came that, oh Maharaj, it's a struggle. Sure, it's a struggle. But Maharaj made a very witty comment on that. Are you struggling to remain comfortably in the material world? Or are you struggling to get out of the clutches of the 3 modes and join Krishna back in the spiritual world? Just think about it. There's a struggle both ways. When the Titanic ship went down, the engineers had called it the ship which even God cannot sink. My Lord, what a disappointment when you make such a claim. Another thing was the chief engineer was asked that, hey, you made all the luxury items, whole ballrooms and kitchen and luxury suites. What about lifeboats in case something happens? The chief engineer had remarked, ha ha ha, she is the only lifeboat you will ever need. And what happened? Something which helps these kind of gigantic ships remain afloat, water. In another form, that same water caused it to go down. Today, if you look into your dictionary and try to find the etymological meaning of the word Titanic, Titanic is a tribe of people who are always fighting with Mother Nature, who are always engaged in a struggle with nature. Now they don't succeed. Nobody succeeds. So struggle we must, either in material life or in spiritual life. But you may say, hey, wait. You said chant Hare Krishna and be happy, isn't it? At least this line was given to me. And I think it was Indratunga Swami who said, Prabhupada never said that. Oh, I was so disappointed. No, chant Hare Krishna and be sad. Chant Hare Krishna and be miserable. He said, no. Chant Hare Krishna and your life will be sublime. And that made me think, oh yeah, life is meant to be taken from the mucky, yucky area where it is and made sublime. So Thakur Bhaktivinoda has sung, Madhavati thi bhakati janani, bhakati janani. Now Madhav Tithi is Ekadashi, Madhav Tithi is all the various days on which you observe the appearance of our acharyas, Gaur Purnima, Nityananda Trayodashi, Narsimha Chaturdashi, and of course Janmashtami. Janmashtami also is Madhav Tithi. So we have many college youth here coming, joining the process, and one of them many years ago had asked, if it is Krishna's birthday, then shouldn't he be giving us a feast rather than forcing us to fast? What is this? I mean, it's his birthday, so I should not be eating anything? So the point of fasting is not to lose weight or to be miserable. It's just to reduce our sense gratification. The struggle is there, but here we find we struggle to become Krishna conscious. So here we have text 3 to 30 that Krishna has taken birth, and that is not liked so much by the atheistic class of people, especially by Kamsa. So then he understands that Krishna was living in Vrindavan. So it's like, hey, how did that guy escape? I tried everything to kill him. Do you know that Kamsa had successfully killed the first 6 children of Devaki? Then what happened? The 7th pregnancy ended up in miscarriage. So Radha Govind Maharaj, in his kathas, he always makes a very nice point. The Brajvasis, the Mathuravasis and others, not the Brajvasis, Mathuravasis thought that, oh, maybe Kamsa did some jadoo tona, some kind of black magic, and somehow the garbha, the embryo, disappeared. So Devaki didn't know. She also was covered by Yoga Maya. And then the 8th pregnancy. My Lord, what kind of anxiety. And Kamsa, Nectar of Devotion describes, is almost Krishna conscious, 100%. What you and me can never expect, that Kamsa was there. So people say, does thinking about Krishna constitute as bhakti? You say no. Dancing in front of Krishna up and down, giving lots of charity, reading Krishna's books, Vedic literature. No. So then, hey, what do you mean by bhakti? So the first point about Indians was we are a bit indisciplined. Second point is, again in India we say, kya hum bhakta nahi hai kya? Huh? Are we not devotees? Of course we are devotees. Now what do you mean by devotees? Every now and then I go to the temple, I give some charity. So Rupa Goswami was the one who gave us a surgically precise cast in iron, inscribed on stone kind of definition. That Anukulyena Krishnanusevanam Bhakti Uttama Sarvopadhi Vinirmuktam Tatparatvena Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. That is from Narad Bhakti Sutra. But here, that Anukulyena, you have to have a bhav, you have to have a kind of feeling. Now, again, this kind of feeling also can be imitated. So, is somebody saying, okay, we will make Krishna happy. Will that be bhakti? Like the first two lines are Anya Bilashita Shunyam. You don't think about anything else. Jnana Karmari Anavritam. There is no Gyan, there is no Karma. This is a big subject. I don't want to bore you with too much of theoretical knowledge. But what exactly do we mean by Jnana? The definition which satisfied me many, many years ago is Jnana means the arrogance that I will know things about Krishna and capture him. So yogis, meditators, they fall in that trap. What is karma? Karma means if this particular fruitive activity, this particular auspicious time, this particular auspicious place, if I do this, Krishna has to give me the results. Krishna has to bow down because it is an auspicious day, auspicious time. So there is a beautiful story of King Nriga who had Himalayan proportions of punya. Didn't help him. So please understand, every story has that deep philosophical import behind this. So when we say devotees are Anya Bilashita Shunyam, what does it mean? That Krishna, I don't want the arrogance of knowledge. Like sometimes devotees say, why Prabhupada wrote so many books? If we say we don't read books or we don't need to read books. No, that is Bhakti Unmukhi Gyan. That's not the dry knowledge of a mental speculator who wants to capture Krishna. No. That this knowledge of Prabhupada's books actually nourishes our Bhakti Lata Bij. And that's why the more books, the merrier. Sometimes devotees say, oh, do you see there's a new book by Shivram Maharaj, a new book by another Jayadeva Maharaj, and he said, my God, I already have 25 books which I purchased them, but I haven't read them. What do I do with that? I know one God brother, he says, I purchase every book available in the ISKCON market just to support the author. That also is good. No issues with that. But to tell the truth, Prabhupada said, chant Hare Krishna, take prasadam, dance in Sankirtan. Our philosophy is over. Really. But you know what our conditioned mind says? Chant Hare Krishna. What about chant Kali Kali, Durga Durga, Jai Siya Ram, Satya Sai Baba, Sai Baba? So many things are available in the Indian market. And why need to dance like that? Like, I don't know about you, but I come from a little bit of a materially puffed up, pious, mundane background. And dancing was seen as low class. Oh, we don't dance in public. Certainly nobody dances in the temples I went. And the first time I came to a Hare Krishna temple, my God, everybody around me was just jumping up and down. I was thinking, hey, these are grown-up people and why are they jumping like that? To bring my arms like this in front of Radha Gopinath, it took me 6 months. Every Sunday I would say, next Sunday in the Aarti, I would lift my arms. Just see the weight, just see the gravity, just see the papa karma which we carry with us. So somebody could be not able to dance because of social pressures, or somebody could be thinking that, oh, I am a... This is the same thing which, who? Prakashanand Saraswati accused Mahaprabhu. Hey, you are a sannyasi, man. Bhavu ke rasane. You are dancing on the streets like young girls or sentimental people. Cheap. Sannyasis don't dance. And Mahaprabhu knew that these fellows are so puffed up, they can't be cracked. So, chant Hare Krishna, take prasadam, dance. Now, if somebody says, why chant Hare Krishna? Why dance? Prabhupada said, we have 80 books, 1,000 pages each. Read them to satisfy your intellectual queries. So, coming back to our theme of Krishna has taken birth, and Kamsa is trying to. Whom did he send? Prabhupada uses the word here, wizards, jadugar. They're not exactly wizards, they're very cruel at that. If you say Trinavarta is a wizard, you have this PC Sarkar and his Indrajal, Jadu. No, this is not just Jadu. There is Jadu also, there is magic, but cruel. The hatred of Krishna is so pronounced. We can't even imagine that. So, this is from one of our acharyas, that Krishna appears and he appears to purify. He purifies Mother Earth. In fact, Mother Earth looks like a Nai Naveli Dulhan, as they say in Hindi, a young bride, and she gladly receives her consort. So, Krishna purified Mother Earth by Mrida Bhakshan Leela, that is by eating dirt. If you go to Vrindavan, especially we go to Barsana, and Barsana, we know so many of those exalted Brajvasis there. So one song they sing is, Are inone mukti ki mukti kara di. So I'd ask somebody, what do you mean by that? This is by eating dirt. Krishna showed, if I can eat the soil of Vrindavan, do you know how purifying she is? So you don't worry. You also do that. Of course, don't imitate. You can't eat kilos of dirt and expect to be purified. But symbolically, it is good. He purified the water element by accepting Jamuna Jal. Kalindira Tire, Jamuna Jala. So many pastimes and so many bhajans of our Hare Krishna movement are just incomplete without the mention of Jamunaj. So he purified the water element by accepting Jamuna. The air element he purified by Trinavarta Vad. Trinavarta came as in the form of a whirlwind, tufan, as a cyclone. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur reminds us that even in the assembly of devotees, sometimes there are controversies. I'm not going into those controversies, but I'm just telling you that most of these controversies, they only make us lose our head. That means common sense. So if there is a disloyal controversy, that means a controversy which pollutes the aim of your sadhana. The aim of our sadhana is to become Vaishnava Das, Dasanu Dasa, 100 times removed Das. Anything which pollutes that is disloyal and can be compared to Trinavarta, who came in Braj and blinded everybody, including Yashodamaya. She didn't even know where I kept my son. So from Krishna's point of view, do our controversies carry any weight? Not at all. Trinavarta took him high up, and Prabhupada explained it was like a helicopter joyride for Krishna. Nowadays there is drone photography. Yesterday somebody showed me the drone photograph of Jagannath Puri Rath Yatra. My God, it's almost like you are 30-40 stories high up in the air, and then you can see the whole mass moving. So we cannot fly like birds, but we like to see that bird view. Krishna just enjoyed. And he dragged Trinavarta down with his weight till he crashed down dead. The fire element, Krishna purified with Davanal Pan, the forest fire. Twice it happened in Krishna book. We have Krishna's story where first time there was a forest fire and Krishna just swallowed it. That's it. And the second time the forest fire took place, Krishna said, everybody close your eyes. Do you know why? He said the first time they saw me and they thought, my goodness, ye Lala, this Balgopal of ours, I mean, what will happen if he has fire in his belly? So just to avoid controversy, Krishna said, hey, everybody close your eyes. They close their eyes, forest fire gone. That is Krishna. So earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Ether is the Vyoma, sky. With Vyoma Survad, Krishna purified the ether element. So that is our Krishna. That is what Krishna, that is what Prabhupada came to give. He said that if you genuinely have Krishna in your heart, the first and foremost overbearing sentiment in your heart is, I need to share. I need to share him with others. This is just the opposite. Some of you must be working with high-tech companies or high finance companies or scientific laboratories. When your company discovers something, what is your first sentiment? Oh, quickly patent it. Nobody should be able to make it. Or if a person makes the discovery, it's mine, it's mine, it's my name is stamped on it. And this is seen as natural. Of course, we have to be selfish. What do you mean by that? So just like coveting something is natural, for a materialistic person, selflessly giving Krishna is as natural for a devotee. We cannot rest without giving Krishna to others. And that's what we see in Prabhupada's life story. Tomorrow we'll be celebrating Prabhupada's Janmatithi. So, Krishna tava punya have bhai, Krishna tava punya have bhai, e punya koribe, chabe Radha Rani khushi habe, Dhruvati boli to matai. Two lines, Prabhupada's poetry. And what is he saying? Hey Krishna, Krishna, tava punya, you will actually be fortunate when you get the mercy of Radharani. Wow. Srila Prabhupada is a Brajavasi, original Brajavasi. So there is a story which is from Braj. There was a Jatadhari Baba. Okay. And he would do parikrama of Vrindavan town. And that time there were hardly few roads which were navigable, but most of the places around the main temples were bushes and shrubs, sometimes swampy area. So 2-3 times it happened that his jata got entangled and he could not, I mean, he would not drink a drop of water without performing the parikrama. But this time what happened? His jata, his locks of hair got really entangled. And he could not move ahead. He could not move backwards. And there was nobody inside. So what do you do? So he kept on waiting. And finally, Krishna could not restrain himself. Krishna came and he said, Baba, can I help you? So this Baba could hear that there's a very sweet voice, mostly of a coward boy. He said, who are you? He said, my name is Gopal. Which Gopal? There is no Gopal village. There is no village nearby here. So he said, no, I just want to help you. So he said, but I need to know who you are. Are you Krishna? He said, yes. Now imagine if something happened to anybody of us. Hey, Krishna himself has come. That's like a very fortunate thing. Now this Baba was very intelligent. Krishna ke darshan mil gaye. He got darshan of Krishna. But that's like the cake without the icing. He said, how can you vouch that you are Krishna? So Krishna said, hey man, I'm trying to help you out and you're yourself accusing me that I'm not Krishna. He said, no, I don't accuse you of not being Krishna. I just want that somebody should certify. So Krishna also played the game and said, what do you mean? If Radhaji comes and she certifies that this is the same Krishna, I'll gladly accept your help. So Krishna in his mind is saying, very smart fellow. So what can you do? He has to bring Radha, to call Radharani. And Radharani says, oh Baba, this is my Shyam Sundar. Now please accept his help. We cannot tolerate seeing you fasting for so many hours. Normally his parikrama would take maximum 2.5, 3 hours. This has gone beyond 8 hours. So when there is a pure devotee, Krishna also cannot tolerate that pure devotee suffering. So through this Baba, this great devotee, we also come to know that, hey, we just don't want Krishna alone. As they say in Hindi, Krishna ka kya achar dalenge? Will you make a pickle? I don't think it translates properly. In Hindi, it is very proper. Now, why Radharani then? Is she a young girl? Is she just a gopi? Is she just a coward maiden? Is she a illiterate girl like some of our most famous Hindi poets and others say? No way. She is, according to the letter of devotion, compassion personified. When we say God's compassion is infinite, what is the criteria? What is the yardstick? What is the measuring tape for that? The measuring tape for that is Srimati Radharani. Sometimes devotees said, why is she always dancing? I said, oh, she's joyful. Devotional service means joyful. And then Prabhupada added, if she stops dancing, everything is finished. So, it is 40 minutes. I will leave some time for reflections or questions. So just to be recapitulating, we began with an understanding of how people try to kill Krishna. As we said, today on his birth, why we need to think of that? Because Krishna, like the sun, can never be destroyed. Even for the most hardened atheistic person, they cannot explain how an inexhaustible source of energy like the sun is just made like that. They say, oh, it is just like that. What do you mean just like that? You ever contributed any fuel to the sun? That please give 10 liters of gasoline per capita so that we can make sure it's hot? No way. So, Ashesha Teja, the Brahma Samhita describes him. So anytime you feel something, I need to see something immeasurable, unlimited, but with my mundane vision, see the sun. And every night the sun sets, so people might think, oh, the sun is gone. But no, we have turned our face. That also explains illusion. So Kamsa's, Ravana, Jarasandha's illusion is mainly because of turning your back towards Krishna. Then you see the whole material world. Turn your back to the material world, then you can see Krishna. Prabhupada pushed himself, trained us to push others. Here pushing doesn't mean thinking ourselves superior. No way, no way, no way. We preach with enthusiasm, but with a smile. We just want to help others taste Krishna. Life is a struggle for you, me, and everybody. Some are struggling to maintain their jobs so that they can have the next vacation, watch Netflix unlimitedly, buy the new vacation clothes, latest fashion, decorate their dying bodies. Struggle is there. Devotees also struggle to just make that connection with Krishna. Then we saw how Krishna purified all the elements, earth, water, fire, and ether. And finally, we ended with, we don't want Krishna alone, we want Krishna with Radha included. The Radharani means devotion service personified. That's what Krishna also comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The same blackish Krishna, when he accepts the mood of a devotee, becomes the Gauranga. The Shyam Krishna becomes Gauranga. And Radharani is also called Gaurangi, personification of devotional service. So thank you all for being such a kind and patient audience. I really relished preparing for this class, saying it to purify my tongue. I don't know what has happened to you. I am imperfect in giving this knowledge. But if there are any reflections or questions, I don't know, Mr. Organizer or Mrs. Organizer, how are we doing with time? Do we have time for question answers or reflections?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dhanva Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. What an amazing class, Prabhu. Thank you so much. You could have taken more time, Prabhu, because it was so beautiful, so relishing, Prabhu. So amazing, Krishna Katha, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu, we have some time for question session if you have time, Prabhu.
I have time. I have time.
Hari bol. Thank you, Prabhu, first of all, for your beautiful class, Prabhu. You just, for these 40-50 minutes, you talked about Krishna, and so sweet, Prabhu. I was continuing writing the beautiful points, and I'm thinking you started with how some people talk about Krishna, but it's their benefit, not the Krishna. And we are so fortunate that we got Prabhupada, who gave us the real meaning of Krishna. Because we all know most of the time when we were going to Vrindavan, it's more for the chaat papadi than Krishna. You know, you go there and you taste the things and you think, oh wow, I've been to Vrindavan. Yeah, but what you did? So we are so fortunate that we have Prabhupada. And the shloka you use 320, 230, beautiful shloka, Prabhu. So amazing, Prabhu. You just picked a flower from Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a whole garden. We all know that. And I loved your example of Indian water, Prabhu. When we go to India, certainly our lines, we all know what happens to us. Maybe it's Ganga Maya Shakti. And I loved your example of Titanic, Prabhu. So beautiful, Prabhu. The Titanic had this, the engineers, what they were thinking, oh, this is God, but we all know what God is. And about fasting, Prabhu, I remembered one shloka from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jivera lalasa yehi iti uti dhai, Shishonar paranaya Krishna nahi pai. If we really think about eating and enjoyment all the time, it's difficult to get Krishna, very difficult. So we should stop that. So certainly we need Krishna, Prabhu, with Radharani. So beautiful, Prabhu. Your katha was so amazing, Prabhu. And in the last, you said we certainly are trying to decorate our dying bodies. I just other day had an experience of some very old lady doing Botox to look beautiful, and I'm like, that's like Prabhupada example of cleaning the cage, but not taking care of the atma of the bird inside, which we miss. So thank you so much, Prabhu. What a beautiful class, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Dear devotees, if anybody has any questions, reflections for Prabhuji, please go ahead. Shamaguri Mataji, Hare Krishna. Shamaguri Mataji is there. I think Shamaguri Mataji connection.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Shripada and Guru Maharaj. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji.
Can you hear me,
yes.
Prabhu?
Yes.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very, very wonderful class. You know, we Actually, we wanted to hear from you today, and that's what is all Krishna's arrangement. You came up and, we heard the nectarian class, Prabhu, today. Thank you so much for being with us today and giving such a nectarian class. All your examples and stories, and they were all amazing, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you, Shamagori Mataji. Thank you for giving us this Bhakti Sangha Japa group. Our very senior devotee, His Grace Prahladananda Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak Radhas Prabhu. And my done went to Shyamananda Prabhuji. And as Mataji said, that it's Krishna's arrangement. Everything in a devotee's life is Lord Krishna's arrangement. That I have experienced personally in my life. Okay. Whenever I pray and he responds. And he responds in a very mysterious way. Anyway, this was just a comment. But I want to ask Prabhuji, I have seen so many sattvic people, right? Especially, I'm a Gujarati, I'm from Gujarat. And you might have heard about Swaminarayans. They have got big influence in Gujarat and also in US also. So these people are very, sattvic people. On Janmashtami, they do Nirjala. I've seen them doing Nirjala also. But once I went to their, temple in Charlotte and also California, like that, they give Lord Krishna very secondary position. In fact, in Swaminarayan houses, I don't see Krishna's even picture. Right? They are worshipping some Sahajanand Swami as God. And Sahajanand himself has written that, I am bound down to Lord Krishna. I do not understand what kind of mentality, what kind of brainwashing is there that these people are replacing someone, a jiva, for Lord Sri Krishna, like that. So I personally reflect that maybe it's Chadve Sambuchena Dvandu Mohana Bhava. So is there any kind of mathematics behind what jivas will do and, what gradations will they have surrendered to Lord Krishna? That's what is my... I understand maybe the modes are acting, but please give some more insight into this confusion I have. Thank you very much for allowing me to ask.
I won't be doing any interfaith analysis here, but the fact is that Yasya Deve Parabhaktir Yatha Deve Tatha Guru Tasyaite Kachitai Artha Prakashante Mahatmana. This is a Upanishadic verse. It simply says you have to have faith in Guru as well as Krishna. Guru tells you to go to Krishna, Krishna tells you to go to Guru. Imagine we have spent millions and billions and quadrillions of lifetimes here trying to enjoy our senses. Who is the person we don't like the most? Rishikesh, who says that I am the Lord of all senses. Okay? So certainly, if Krishna comes before us and says that don't enjoy this world, we may say, hell with you, I want to enjoy. Over and above that, if Krishna says, this world belongs to me, oh, that will bring out the worst in us. Now, this is, I don't see any young people here, but this is what one sannyasi gave an example to youngsters. As somebody comes before God and says, oh my Lord, this girl here is so gorgeous. Somehow give me an opportunity to date her. Somehow I would like to introduce myself to her. And demigods are those who say, all right, give me your red flowers, plus some chandan, plus some feast, some money, some this and that, and I'll help you. So demigods don't try to ask you, hey, are you sure this is good for you? Don't do that, man. But they won't do that. What when somebody comes to Krishna and says that, now here the young girl is Maya Devi, Durga Devi, material energy, Titiya Shakti, correct? So when you say, Krishna, can you help me enjoy this illusory potency? And Krishna says, don't do that. In fact, she's mine. She's already taken. I'm taking her to a Saturday for a dance. Now this will bring out the worst in us. Not only he is not allowing me to enjoy, But he's saying she's his property. So Krishna doesn't come before the conditioned soul and says that I am Krishna, surrender to me. No, it won't work like that. But Krishna sends his pure devotee. Many of the hippies, many of the counterculture people who came to Prabhupada, they came to Prabhupada because they saw the 70-year-old Indian man struggling. Hey, we should help him out. When Sasaru Maharaj writes that in Jalandhar, the organizers said, what should you put on a poster? And Prabhupada simply said, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami and his disciples who are preaching Krishna Bhakti all over the world are organizing a 3-day program. And Sasaru Maharaj writes, oh, we all thought, yeah, it's true. It is Swamiji and the disciples who are all preaching. Aha, after 77, we came to understand making one small center survive is such a chore, such a Himalayan trouble. And Prabhupada personally supervised 108 temples, 7,000 plus disciples, 60 plus books. So, why I am making this such a big, deep foundation? Why it's important? So, Guru is important in life because Guru introduces us to Krishna. Hey, don't be envious. What would you do? Envying God is like putting your head up and spitting at the sky. What happens? You can't make the sky sullied by your spit. It falls on you. So don't be envious of God. Don't be envious of God. Srila Prabhupada, we saw that in the Kumbh Mela, big Mayavadi sannyasis, 1008, 2008, 10,008, whatever, Maha Mandaleshwars, going on the backs of elephants. Is that a custom? Prabhupada said, yeah. Prabhupada, if we organize something like that, would you come? He said, of course. We will put Radha Krishna on the top of the elephant and I will walk besides that. Now, this was not to be done practically, but this is what you mean when you say somebody is 24/7, 365 days a year, Krishna conscious. So this is the real Guru who pushes you towards Krishna. But hey, who sent you that Guru in the first place? It is Krishna. So, I will not take names, but you should use your common sense. There are places where they only emphasize God and hell with Guru. And in some places, hell with God, only Guru. So this is the digital age, 1 or nil. Either you take 1 or give up 0, or take 0, give up 1. What you and me are doing is the most difficult thing. To constantly keep Guru and Krishna simultaneously in the heart. You go to Krishna and say, I want to please Prabhupada. Very good. You go to Prabhupada and say, I want to please Krishna. Double very good. You go to Prabhupada and say, I don't care about Krishna or the Goswamis. Prabhupada, you are better than all the previous sadhus. He will give such a resounding slap. Your entire block will hear that. And you go to Krishna and say that you spoke the Gita. I love you. I don't need any commentaries. And I will not tell what Krishna will do to you. So we need both. So no need to be critical of anyone. As they say, when giving Krishna, your hand should be like this. Both arms. Broadly give Krishna. And when taking philosophy about Krishna and Guru, your hand should be like this, that, no sir, thanks. You have a very big institution, you have big philosophy books and everything, but we want a philosophy where it says, Yatha Deve Tatha Gurau. We need both. I hope I have given you enough hints without taking any names. Our purpose is not to criticize anyone, but to understand what is the real philosophy.
I thank you very much, Prabhuji. I personally do not, criticize this, but since my wife comes from that Sanstha and all in-laws, and I have to fight against their philosophy all the time.
Oh.
That's the reason I was looking for some clues and like that. But anyway, I accept them as good people, but I accept them as andha yatha and the upanyamanaste pitsatra rudam nibaddha. That's what I see, because they are deviating away from Lord Krishna. That is not good. But anyway.
Okay, you know something? Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur writes in his commentary that Sahajiyas are blah, 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 whatever.
Right.
But then he says, oh, they are better than impersonalists at least. So, what kind of stamp we should put on their forehead, let you and me not decide. Your wife also seems to be a good woman. They have something about Sattva Guna thing, as you rightly said, they are Sattvic.
Right.
And Narsimhadev has guaranteed that since you are doing pure devotion, 21 generations will be given the chance to perform bhakti. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right, it is 5:48 my time. 2 minutes to finish my slot, unless.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Welcome, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhupada Prabhu. We are very sure with your conviction in Srila Prabhupada, you will convert all the people to ISKCON. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hari Bol, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, Ayan Prabhu, our very regular attendee, is asking a question in chat box. He's asking question number 1. After 12 a.m., how can I observe Srila Prabhupada's appearance day? And question number 2.
I got this also, but then I thought, it didn't come to everybody. No, I didn't get it. I saw it. I thought it is for everyone, but maybe it got slipped. Can somebody put that question universally to everyone, so I also can hear?
Yes, Prabhu. I am copy, and there you go, Prabhu. Yeah. It should be there right now.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Question 1. After 12 a.m., how can I observe Prabhupada's appearance day? What we do is, we fast till 12. After that, we observe breaking of the fast with Ekadashi positive food, whatever it is in your area. So basically Sama rice, what is it called? Bhagar, whatever names we call it here, or simple fruits or juice or milk. But we don't take grains on Janmashtami day. So that much window we are allowed so that our body can be sustained. And then like in some temples, just greeting the guest takes up to Mangalati time. You finish off seeing the last guest and it is already conch shell blows. So at Chowpatty here, we go up to 2 o'clock at least, because people keep on coming. They finish their Janmotsav at home, then they come to the temple, and then there is socializing, and we tell them come for this next class or whatever. So we get half an hour at least for honoring prasad, and then your question is, how can I break Nirjal fasting on Janmashtami after 12 a.m.? Sure, there is this common sense involved here. Eat your normal Ekadashi prasadam after 12 a.m. After you have finished that eating, don't then have a second chance. eat sufficient so that you can take rest. And then tomorrow morning, at least I'm talking from the ashram's point of view, you might be having a place where there won't be any temple or whatever. But then tomorrow at 12 o'clock, 12 p.m. noon, you can take grains. That's the general accepted norm everywhere. I hope this answers the question.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very beautiful. Thank you, Ayan Prabhu, for asking this question, because very many neophytes like me, we can be confused. So thank you, Prabhu. That's a very good, nice information. Prabhuji, there is one more question from Jyoti Mataji. She's a very regular attendee. I just posted in the chat box right now again.
Oh yeah, I also saw this question. How to develop emotions while reading? Well, my thing stops here. The chat was not finished properly. I'll just see. Can you resend the question again? Okay, yes, my question is how to develop emotions while reading Srila Prabhupada's books. Is attentiveness the quality of pure Sattva Guna? All right. How to develop emotions while reading Prabhupada's books? Very good question. $1 million question. His Grace Bhurijan Prabhu and Satsang Maharaj and who else? At least these two stand out as my gurus, my guides in hearing this. But there is something called worshipful reading of Prabhupada's books. Okay? And do it in that kind of a manner. Number one, do not think that this book is good, this book is not that good. I can understand this, I don't understand that. Like, I have my example. During Corona time, I started a class for a small group of devotees in Richmond, Virginia. And I lapped up the idea because my Chaitanya Charitamrita reading was kind of lagging behind. So I said, hey, if I do something for them, I also get the benefit. As they say, आप चंदन घिस रहे हैं तो आपके हाथ को भी सुगंध आता है. If you are making chandan paste, if it smells on your clothes, they also smell fine. So if you are teaching CC to others, you also get the benefit. And I can feel that. Now, Chaitanya Charitamrita, the first Adilila part 1 is such philosophy that nobody can say that they cannot fall asleep or they have trouble falling asleep. I say read. There is one particular purport which is 14 pages long. So our philosophy has many multi-uses, you know. Anyway, that's a joke. It's not said in good sense. So I asked somebody, what do I do? They say, Prabhu, begin with the childhood pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, chapter 12. And God, it is so relishable. So Prabhupada said, what I've given you is like a gulab jamun, a huge gulab jamun, the size of a football. So you say, ये ऊपर से sweet है कि नीचे से sweet है, बाजू से sweet है कि आजू से sweet है. Is it sweet on the northern side, western side? It is sweet. But we feel that this is sweet. So now your question is, how do we develop that emotion? Very good question. Make a reading plan. Make a reading plan with the small books first, with the bigger ones later. Especially small books, I would recommend Raj Vidya, Matchless Gift, Higher Taste, On the Way to Krishna, Elevation to Krishna Consciousness. These are all like samosa chaat, pani puri. You can easily, fatafat, you can take all of them. Okay? Or as they say in Gujarati, mein khichu hota na, khichu. Very easily prepared and very nice to eat. So some books are like that. Then you have SSR, JOSD, which are like secondary school. Then comes Bhagavad Gita, the big boss, SSC passing certificate. You say, hey, what about Ishopanishad? What about Nectar of Instruction? Don't misunderstand them. वो छोटा है लेकिन कोल्हापुरी मिर्ची जैसा है वो. Some books have 6-7 paragraphs and very simple to understand philosophy. Ishopanishad is such a heavy weight. Goodness. So तैयारी करो अपने मन का. Prepare yourself. Then go to the big ones. You understand Gita, then you understand Bhagavatam purports. Gita purports are like brick, stone, mortar, cement, geru. And Bhagavatam purports are like एक बंगला बनाया है उसका. You say, oh, this is how this material was put into making this whole establishment. And CC, Chaitanya Charitamrita is like the chandeliers and the fountains and the park and the orchard and the garden of that bungalow. So please do that and bless us also that we also never lose the taste for reading Prabhupada's books. Secondly, is attentiveness the quality of pure Sattva Gun? Pure Sattva Gun is Shuddha Sattva. I think it is just Sattva. You don't need to have pure Sattva all the time. Pure Sattva is like jumping and trying to touch the ceiling. Now you can't cling there. You jump 20 times, you touch only once. So once Giriraj Maharaj told Prabhupada, Oh my God, I was thinking like that. I must be in Maya. Prabhupada said, you're always in Maya. Sometimes you're in Krishna. That's a safe way to assume that we are always in Rajo and Tamogun. And sometimes, okay, here is a test. You feel like lashing at someone. Oh, this person insulted me. I'm going to give her back. Or I am going to put my position first. What I did was correct. No, you are wrong. ये सब होते समय, all this is happening. If you feel, let it go. This person found one fault in me. If he comes a bit close, he will find 99 others. That is Sattva Guna touching us. You don't feel the need to get back at someone. Now you may say Arjuna fought, Hanuman fought. They were fighting on the order of Krishna. Krishna doesn't order you and me personally to insult somebody back. In fact, he says that no, better you suffer the reaction. That will be good for you. So tolerance is the sign of Sattva Guna. And tolerance while preaching is the sign of Shuddha Sattva Guna.
Prabhu, I don't want to leave you. I want to ask you one more question.
Yes.
Could you please allow me?
Yeah, sure.
Prabhuji, could you please share your journey in Krishna consciousness, the tougher side of yours, how you build your emotions? Then that would be a blessing for me. Thank you so much. That would be enough.
Oh, wait a minute. You want to tell me how I joined or what exactly?
No, how you develop the emotions for the Krishna and how.
Oh, I'm sorry. I gave you the illusion that I have developed. I am still work in progress. I just heard
about that the highlights of your working progress. We would like to know. We would like to learn from you.
Okay, 2-3 times I have seen very senior leaders, and they carry something like a simple book, Higher Taste or Coming Back. So I said to one Maharaj, at your stage you read these books? So in an angry way he looked at me and said, 90% of my reading is Prabhupada's books. And sometimes to embellish things, I just references I take from like the 9 islands of Navadvip. What does each island stand for? We say they stand for Naveda Bhakti. So Antardvip stand for this, Ritudvip for this, Madhyamdvip for this. That can be taken from other book. But otherwise, 90% of, first of all, it takes some discipline, which I should agree. Emotions don't come so easily, isn't it? So for emotions to be there has to be connection, sambandha. Sambandha is just the connection. Abhidheya is what you do to nourish the connection. And then you get prayojan, the fruit of that long-standing connection. So, okay, one more tip. If you are saying, I would like to improve my emotional bonding with Prabhupada's books, so this is like one skill set. This is an attribute. This is a sadgun which you want to imbibe in your life. Okay. Find out who has that quality, whether offline sangha or online sangha. Certainly you will find somebody who is better than you. That is like on a long journey of 1,000 miles, somebody is 10 paces ahead of you, just 10 steps. And फिर भी वो गुरु है आपका. Just for the 10 steps. Okay. So the first thing is to identify who is better than you. Second step is, how do I serve that Prabhu or Mataji? Personally do some service to them. If they are pleased, when a Vaishnava is pleased, without him knowing, without her knowing, that one quality gets transferred to the servant. Try this out. It has worked for me, although I feel like deficient in so many respects. But this is something which Krishna also will be very happy when you serve other devotees, wishing that, oh, this person has such good qualities. By serving them, I would like to have those qualities, and I will use those qualities in serving Krishna. That could be a very nice proposition. Thank you. Okay, my time is up. We have guests coming. I am hearing all these noises. I have some seva at our Kalash donors counter and also taking care of guests here. So thank you all so much. My dandavats at each and every one of you, lotus feet.
Thank you.
Srila
Thank you so much.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Vasha
much.
kalpatarubhascha vipa
Vipa sindhuvescha
patitanam
patitanam
pavanebhyo
pavanebhyo namo
Vaishnava ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji, and we look forward for many classes from you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Guru Srila Prabhupada ji ki jai. Shyamananda Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Amazing class, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Happy Janmashtami to all the devotees. Thank you.
Happy Janmashtami.
Happy Janmashtami. Hare Krishna.
Happy Janmashtami to everyone.